All right.
That's it.
That's I'm Svempa, and I'm from a YouTube channel called Cries from the Underworld.
Right from the underworld.
Cries from the Underworld.
Right from the underworld. Good song title.
And today I will give you Hellfire and Damnation.
Damnation, yeah, hopefully.
Welcome to the show, Biff and Brian from Saxon.
It's good to be in the underworld.
Yeah. How are you doing? A long day with interviews and paid a visit to Spotify, I heard.
Yeah, they're always long days doing interviews. I mean, we like to be busy though. It's boring. We just come here and sit around in the snow.
Yeah. What's your relation to Stockholm over the years?
Well, we've had some great times in Stockholm over the years, especially in the 80s. It was very naughty at time 80s. But yeah, I mean, we've always been very popular in Stockholm. I mean, a lot of musicians grew up with Saxon in the 80s, and yeah, good vibes. There's like hidden Saxon fans everywhere in Sweden.
Yeah,
in the government,
we're hiding in the government, in the dark,
in the police, and the
yeah. And your relation to Sweden and Stockholm?
I think we've played in Stockholm a few times over the years. I think we did on the Megadeth tour in 2005. We probably came here. Well, I can't remember the venue. And we may have come in 83 when we were supporting Black Sabbath. We may have come on our own, or we may have done a gig with Black Star Riders in 2019, 20. No, not 20, 18, 19.
Yeah.
But, when they're long tour, I forget the date where we've been sometimes. So I can't quite remember. I'm sure we've been a few times.
He's not a Stockholm party boy.
No, not at all.
But you have been, or you are?
Oh, we've definitely been.
I've been to some great parties.
I've never been to a party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And when you are not creating music, what kind of hobbies do you have?
Me? Or yeah?
Both?
Well, my hobbies are everything really. I mean, I do everything that everybody else does. I'm just a normal guy outside. I mean, I like riding my bike. I like collecting things and stuff like that. So basically, normal family guy things really.
I'd say the same. I cycle as well, and I go swimming every week if I can when I'm back in the UK. And I read, and I like to go and see films. I'm a big film fan, so sometimes I go to the pictures. Sometimes just watch it at home, Netflix and things.
Yeah, I think we're all big film buffs in Saxon.
Yeah.
I don't know if Nigel is, but Doug certainly is.
Probably.
And Nibs does a lot of reading and watching films.
Mm.
I mean, I like watching a lot of documentaries and things and reading history books. That's what's usually seen me on a tour bus doing that.
Yeah.
Reading some story or re-watching Game of Thrones.
But both of you have been in the music industry for quite a long time. What's the change during the years?
Well, I mean, the digital explosion really changed everything more than I think probably through the 70s and the early 80s is pretty much similar, just different music. But I think, the end of the 80s with the digital thing, mobile phones, internet, changed everything. Spotify, everything changed.
And then how do you think Saxon has adapted to the new musical horizon, so to say?
I think we're always adapting. It's difficult. We don't want to change too much. That I think that's not good. I think you have to keep on the same road. But I think we do adapt with new technology all the time. You have to. I think. So yeah, you're keeping one foot in the old days and one foot in the new days, and that's really how you survive, I think.
Yeah, and you have also acted on on video with the Swedish band Amon Amarth.
Yeah, man, they're good friends of ours.
Tell me more about it.
Well, we met them on years ago. They played a festival with us in Italy at Garda. Must have been in the 90s. Must have been one of their first shows, I think. We were first. They were out drinking beer out of the Viking horns, so Nibs quite liked that idea. So we all went off with them drinking beer out the horns, and red wine and whiskey and all sorts of stuff. So we had a bit of a boozy night with them, and we just kept crossing paths. And when I wanted, a dark, deep voice on one of our songs called Predator, Johan did it for me, which is cool. So we've always had that connection. They're huge. They're huge fans of that 80s movement. Saxon, Maiden, definitely Priest. You can hear it in their music.
Yeah, you can of course hear it in their kind of death metal because they have twin guitars.
Yeah, definitely. So they said they got in touch and said, do you want to write this song with us? We've got this song called Saxons and Vikings. I mean, who are they going to ask?
Yeah.
Nobody else. They get asked really. So so they got in touch and said, do you want to write the Saxon lyrics? And they explained the concept, of a Saxon army and the Viking army being together and hurling insults at each other. But I had to remind them that we won that battle, Saxons. We beat the Vikings, so they had to know that. So it was good. The song, as soon as I sing, the song changes into something else, which is pretty cool. It's a good song. And the video, we had great fun. A few months later, they said, do you want to come to, I don't know, where we were, Latvia or somewhere out there on the coast?
So the video was shot in Latvia?
Somewhere like that, Estonia or somewhere like that. No, it wasn't England. It's supposed to be England, but it wasn't. You want to go away with that in England. Health and safety would have been straight in there. But it was good fun, And Paul had already retired from doing anything like that, but we took Paul with us, and he plays in the video. So it's good fun. I think people like it. I've seen a few comments, and they all seem to be good.
Yeah, definitely. I saw it today, and I think it was fun.
Yeah,
really fun. Yeah. But speaking, you have joined Saxon recently, but you had your own career before.
Yeah.
What fuel have you added to the band?
What fuel?
Uh,
I don't know. I just think I've been involved in the writing of the new album, and hopefully, what I play live is what people want to hear. I'm respectful to the songs, and whenever possible, I will incorporate some of Paul's, tunes and motifs into the solos. But I couldn't just learn every solo parrot fashion, every note of every solo. There's a lot of songs. I've learned, I think, 27, 28 songs. And so I have to add something of my own. And so far, so good. It seems to be working great. People have given me a lot of compliments and said, you're a good match, a good fit for the band. Obviously, I have got a lot of experience, and I've been doing, Diamond had started back in '76, and we started writing back then, and writing was our thing. We thought, while we hadn't got a clue how to get gigs, and we didn't do many gigs in the early days, but every week we'd get together and write, and it just straight onto cassette. We didn't have a multi-track or anything, but we just write these songs, and we got better and better, and we wrote lots and lots of songs, and we learned the craft, really, the art of songwriting by trial and error. Message.
I want to stay in the conversation.
Yeah, that's it.
And from your thoughts about Brian adding to the lineup?
Well, it all started from replacing Paul live.
Yeah.
And then we got we were talking to Judas Priest about doing this tour together we have in March. And because we were going to release the new album in November next year. And they wanted to do it in March. So I don't think they had an album, and we did. We only had bits of an album. So both bands sort of like, yeah, let's go for March, and we'll both write the new albums. And you know, Andy Sneap was actually working on a Judas Priest album while we were working on our album at my studio doing the guitars. So, I asked, because we were in such a rush then to make the tour, you know, to make the dates for the album release, I asked Brian if he had any ideas floating around in the back pocket, you know, do anything. Like, you know, and he sent me a lot of ideas. So yeah, 3 of them I liked immediately.
That's pretty good.
So, yeah. So I took them a stage further and made them into songs. You know, which is what I do.
Yeah. And when did you first start working with the album Hellfire and Damnation?
Well, we started working. We'd already been working on it. I had about 6, 7, 8 songs maybe. Actually, more 9 songs, music, and I was working on the lyrics and ideas when we decided to do this Judas Priest thing together. So then we had to like really move forward fast. So things like Kubla Khan and you know, Fire and Steel, already you know, nearly there lyrically and melodically. I knew where I wanted to go. I mean, we did change a couple of things when Brian came over to write on his stuff. We tried a few changes on the songs that me and Nibs had wrote together. Kubla Khan, we changed the chorus and sort of the verse feel, but little things like that, you know. And yeah, it worked out good. Those 3 songs were added to the album, and I think it brought a lot to the album, you know, a lot of power to the album. You obviously got these riffs that were bursting to become songs. You know, they were like calling to me. Take me, take me. I'm a great one. Take me. So yeah, this riff's good. I mean, when I heard the riff of Hellfire Damnation, I was like, yeah. And the dang, I was sold on that bit. So I was like, yeah, that's a great guitar riff.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody else says, that's a great guitar. But I believe in that guitar riff. I'm going to take that and take it forward and see where it goes.
Do you have an idea up front? You start writing what you're aiming for?
Yeah, I tend to have a vision.
Yeah.
Of what I want it to sound like finished. Yeah, definitely. And if I have a title, I know what that music has to be for that title. So I'll pick music that I think works for that title.
Yeah.
Might be unique, that I don't know. For instance, Fire and Steel, you know, Nibs had a riff, and I knew that was a riff that we had to do because it's such a great, aggressive, great guitar riff. And yeah, so sometimes I have the idea, pick the music for my idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes the music will give me an idea. But most of the time, I've got titles and I'm looking for music that suits my title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it works great, that, because you can compile a bunch of songs that all work together great, you know.
Yeah. And in what stage comes the lyrics?
Well, they can come first. They can come. I mean, I don't stop writing lyrics and singing until the very last day that with the album, somebody says, "You've got no time now. It's finished." Which is usually me. So I say that to myself. This is it. You know, you can't put any more in because it's never finished. You know, there's always a line, but it's never finished. An album's never finished. There was something you can do better. There's always some word or some guitar solo or twiddle or something, or a bass guitar part or a drum fill that you think, oh, I could have done that better. You know. So, but yeah, somebody has to draw a line in the sand and say, that's it. You know, no more now.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and who's the guy in Saxon that
me.
does it? You.
It's me that does
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say that's it's good enough.
Oh.
I mean, Andy will sometimes say, but Andy was a bit like, I don't think we can do it in time. And I was the one telling Andy, yeah, we can. You know, just get to work on it, get going. You know, get going there. So it worked out really well, actually. So Yeah, so we ended up with an album that is great, actually.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why it's great. It's just happened that way.
Yeah.
Circumstances, you know what I mean? If I hadn't have asked him, we wouldn't have had that song.
Yeah.
We would have had another song. So the album would have been completely different.
Yeah.
So it's just destiny.
I wonder about the thing. I mean, except Judas Priest, as far as you have gone in your career, you managed to create such great music. How come? Do you see any reason why so
You're
many
very
of the old
talented.
bands? Yes, of
The
course.
easy answer.
But besides all that,
I think we're blessed with the ability to still be able to write music that people love. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how we do it. I don't know.
that was my next question.
Send the water.
In what kind of environment are you most creative when writing new riffs and new lyrics?
Well, for me, it's a very private environment. I used to write lyrics with people as a bouncing board, but I use technology now as my bouncing board. I'll write things on my phone and look at them, you know, or think, is that right? You know. So I think on my own, actually, when I create, you know, my best moments. Probably the same, are you? When you're on your own, really?
I practice every day when I'm at home, and sometimes I come up with a riff, sometimes I don't. So when I do, I tape it, and then I'll review it at some point, and then only the good ones sort of survive.
Yeah.
And then at some point, I try and turn them into a song, and I might demo a song several times before I think it's sounding.
The footnote on that, though, is we've had some fantastic riffs that the guitarist thought were no good. So you've got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Because Princess of the Night didn't start as Princess of the Night.
What?
It started as a guitar riff that Paul was playing. And I said, I like that. I like that riff. And then it went to something else. And then we worked together. And we worked out that first verse together. You know, she used to be in Iron almost 20 years ago. And those movements developed over a period. But Paul thought the riff was useless.
Right.
Oh.
It's like, you know, what?
Not.
It's just like downstroke. So, I was saying, well, I like that.
That's fine.
But that's how it is, you see. I think when you work on your own, when you finally play to somebody else, their reaction to what you've got is not always what you think it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, somebody else might have heard the music of Madame Guillotine and gone, and
Yeah.
whereas I heard it and something spoke to me in that riff that encouraged me to write Madame Guillotine with it. So
Yeah.
it's a weird thing. Inspiration.
Yeah.
Sometimes you fall in love with a song or an idea, and nobody else likes it,
That's fine.
and vice versa. You think, I'm not that keen on this one, and if everybody says that's no good, then you just say, okay, we'll leave that one. But you end up playing it to somebody, and they go, that's great, I really like that one. And you then get a confidence in that, and you think, oh, okay, then, well, let's develop that one then. Sometimes you really don't know.
I think some of it though is minds meeting.
Yeah.
Like I said, it is destiny.
Yeah.
Because in a different space of time, you know, Paul wouldn't have retired, and we wouldn't have used Brian for the touring, and I wouldn't have asked him. So, you know what I mean? It's just, you have to go with the flow, you know, go with the flow and just see where it goes.
Was there any arguing point between the song that ended up on the upcoming album?
Was there any what?
Arguing point. You spoke about if you don't like a riff or something.
No, there was nothing. I mean, he sent me the ideas. I did some demo vocals, more or less immediately, really, after he left. And that I did the vocals on it, especially on Hellfire, Damnation, and then sent it to the boys. And I don't know what they thought. They must have thought, shit, that was quick. I don't know. But, you know, it's it must have been totally not what Brian was expecting. Because how could you? You couldn't or
No,
you can't pre-think what I put on that piece of music. You just, I mean, it's me that add it.
Yeah.
It's me that add into it. So
Yeah.
it's just totally what I thought, really.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works. And I do it with Nibs all the time. Nibs sends me endless ideas for songs, you know, and I would say 5% of his stuff I will really like, but the other, like, you know, 95% completely over my head. Like, you know, it's like muso, you know, stuff that's not right for Saxon, really.
Okay.
We don't suddenly want to turn into like Rush,
Yeah.
you know. So, but that's how Nibs writes.
Yeah.
Very, very musical.
Yeah.
A lot of different tempo changes, and you know, a lot of brilliant playing.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to listen to the whole album because Darren sent it to me, and I listened very carefully. And I must say, this must be one of the best albums in many years. And I mean, I love the recent Saxon album, but this is something else.
Yeah, I
another
agree.
point.
I didn't think we could do a better album than Carpe Diem, because that's a great album.
But
Last
this,
album.
in my humble opinion,
Yeah,
this
you're
is
right.
way better.
It is way better.
Yeah.
And I really don't know why. I mean, I know the obvious reasons, because Brian was involved.
Yeah.
You can say that, you know, Brian's involved, it's a better album because of that. But having said that, though, it doesn't mean to say the songs would be great. You know, I mean, and Brian in the band doesn't mean to say I would write better lyrics or, you know, a better melody. You know, it just came together really well. I don't know what happened. Maybe I don't know what happened. Something happened.
One thing, you sing at the top of your career, I must say.
Yeah.
And the chemistry between you and Doug are brilliant.
Very good.
In my
I think, you know, if we carry on with this lineup, I think Doug and Brian have got great things still to give.
I agree with that.
You know,
Yeah.
I really do. I think they're going to write together really well.
We get on really well. He's a lovely guy, Doug. And I think our styles will, you know, complement each other. I think it's going to be great.
So we're looking forward to what's got to come in the future.
and also on the video, you seems to have a lot of fun when playing.
Yeah, it's good fun, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the song's good fun anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Hellfire, Damnation.
Yeah.
It's great.
Could you describe, because many of the people that are going to listen to this interview haven't heard the whole album, what kind of direction, what was your common goal when you start writing it?
There's no common goal. It's just great songs. We want to write great songs. There's an overall theme of the good and evil on the album, I think.
Yeah.
Because of my lyrics. Musically, I think it's you know, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's like the 80s, it's like the early 80s, the album. There's a lot of overtones of the 80s. I suppose there is really, but I think it's a bit of a subconscious thing. I think because maybe because Brian hasn't had a massive outlet for his music, his riffs, and I suppose really we're opening the floodgates a bit on his ideas for him to put it in front of a lot more people. That's right, isn't it?
I think that's
So, you know, when I chose the songs of Brian's, you know, it wasn't anything to do with Brian. It was just I love the guitar riffs.
Yeah.
They could have come from Paul Quinn, or you could have written them, you know, and sent them to me. I was only interested in what I heard, you know. It wasn't really connected to Brian. So you know, as a piece of a riff, a piece of music, it really caught me, you know. So I used them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have used them because he wasn't in the band at that time for writing. He's acquired that skill now. So yeah, so you know, I have heard lots of his ideas. They're not all as great as that. You know, but that's how it is, you know. You have a lot of ideas over the stretch of a year, say, of writing and fiddling about.
Yeah.
And not everything's great,
Yeah.
but it does sometimes take another one, maybe two people to be on that same wavelength as you're on. And it works the other way around as well. If I have an idea for a melody, a chorus melody, I will sing it to, I sang a couple of the guitar melodies to Brian, which he used. So it does work the other way around,
Yeah. Do you want to add something to the discussion?
Where are we at again?
I had the opportunity to listen to the album up front, and I really enjoy it. And how would you describe the album to one who hasn't listened to it?
Great, powerful. I'm really happy to be involved. I've enjoyed the whole process. It's been great working with Biff and everybody. So yeah, you obviously just want people to like it, and you put out your best work within the time frame you've got and the cost involved and things like that. But you really don't know what people will think until they listen to it. You can be confident about it, but until it reaches someone like yourself, then you could hate it. You really don't know. I mean, I would think, oh well, you don't know what you're talking about. But it is nice to hear a compliment, because you feel, you put a lot of time and effort into it. The least you want is people say, yeah, well done, it's great.
I think also there's nothing to do with anything you've done before. I think Brian now is involved with top-notch songwriters. We know what we want. We know how to write.
They have a specific
great
formula.
metal songs. So he's involved with that whole thing now. I don't think anybody on the planet would have written Hellfire and Damnation to his riff. And that's what I mean. You create something special because we're really good at what we do.
Yeah. And how did you came up with the idea of the chorus? Because it's both catchy, nice, fluent, and really kick-assing.
Well, I'm working around the riff, all the time. That big chorus. I had the idea for Hellfire and Damnation with my father saying all the time, Hellfire and Damnation, where have you been, or what the hell are you doing? Bloody Hellfire. It was all religious things, cursing, really. So it was in my head from a long time ago. And I wanted to write a song about the good and evil. The original title of the song was The Prophecy, because that's in the chorus as well. The chorus goes into written in the prophecy. But then I decided, when I heard his riff, I was like, that will work. Got my mind cogs working, and that would work. I think you'd not heard the chorus, had you, till I sent it to you.
No.
So and I wanted it to be separate words, not Hellfire, one word, and Damnation.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be Hellfire, Damnation. People get writing it differently. I was like, fucking stop writing it as Hellfire, because all the notes on the albums and everything, it sticks. And then the next thing we know, it's on the album cover. Hellfire and Damnation. For me, there's not much impact. There's three different words there. One's hell, one's fire, and one's damnation.
Right.
Use it. So
It's more strong when you add it hell, fire,
That's right.
and damnation.
Yeah, that's right.
And I guess that's why it sounds so fluent.
I mean, my son was the first to hear these songs sang.
Yeah.
Because I did the vocal with him.
Yeah.
So he when I was singing hell, he was in the other room going fire. He was doing the echo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Andy sent back the rough mix, and he'd done the echo. So I was like, oh, that's great. Yeah.
I like the echo. I thought it's a nice idea.
So, but Seb was doing it as well. Hell, fire. It was like the audience would be great doing that. So like, oh, well, they'll do it if they want, Seb. But yeah, the chorus is killer. It's great. Just fell into place,
And at the first time I heard the back vocals, I thought you had added a guest singer. I don't know if you're familiar with Ralph Shippers from Primal Fear.
Yeah.
but then I mentioned it must be your voice.
It is my voice. Sebastian did some backing vocals as well on some of the songs, but the thing is, I changed the song right at the last minute. Do you know this?
No.
Originally, my idea was just double chorus: hell, fire, damnation, hell, fire. And I thought, well, the song's about good and evil. I'm going to put holy in, holy fire in on the second part. So the first one is hellfire, damnation. The second half is holy fire, salvation. So it gives both sides, the good and the evil. So I had a bit of an epiphany right at the last minute.
Right.
If you listen to the demo I sent you, I'm not singing that.
No.
So yeah. So like I say, it's never finished until it's finished.
And what's your interest between good and evil?
Well, it's a constant battle, I think, between good and evil. You know, it's there all the time, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Somebody sees a stray dog, they give it some food. Some people kick it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that simple, isn't it? Between good and evil.
Yeah. And how did you manage to held your vocal so vital during?
Well, my vocals doing good at, you know. I mean, I love singing. You know, I have my own studio where I do it now, so I'm quite comfortable in that. I have an old 1940s AKG C12 and Telefunk and EQ. So my voice, the microphone likes my voice. So we work well together, me and the microphone. So yeah, so it's a bit like, you know, with guitars with his favorite guitar, really. So I like the microphone. You know, Andy's always trying to get me to use a different microphone,
Right.
and we always come back to the C12. You know, so yeah. I mean, my voice is good. I've learned how to, you know, the timbre of my voice. I've learned how to use that, and you know, I will ask the boys to change the key of the song sometimes if my power band isn't right.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Hellfire Damnation's in concert pitch.
Yeah.
And the rest of the album is a semitone down. So I specifically asked for that to be recorded in concert pitch because my voice sounds stronger in a natural E. Yeah, in a natural E rather than a, you know, E flat. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah. And what happened in Roswell, according to you?
Well, I don't know what's happening there now. It's all secret and covered up. You can't go there. But yeah, if we're going to Texas, we're going to go to Roswell when we do the shows in Texas. I've been there once. It's like crazy. You can get like alien burgers, and you know they've all got like aliens on top of the top of the lamppost. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there was something in Roswell. I'd like to think that was a UFO that crashed there.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Yeah,
you know.
And
I'd like to think that somebody found out that Kennedy was shot by 2 people rather than 1. I'm a big believer in the conspiracy theory thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's always a reason for a theory.
Of course.
You know, Mulder and Monroe, classic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, did they kill her or did she die? That's another song. I like.
Same about
there.
Kurt Cobain. Did he shoot himself?
Exactly.
Or was he murdered?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I've heard the stories from people around that. I'm not going there.
No.
But I have heard stories, you know. But yeah, that's did he?
Yeah.
Did he not? Got everything to live for.
No.
Got young children, you know.
Okay. But did you have any discussion about the song order on the album? And are there some leftovers that didn't?
There are a couple leftovers, yeah, because I took some songs off to put his on.
Yeah.
So there are some there, yeah, that might raise their heads on the next album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is always lots of stuff around that we've written. It's usually music, you know, because when we write as a band, if you're starting from like ground zero of a song, it's very difficult to bring it up very quickly because you're all waiting to have inspiration at the same time. So, but I will sing, you know, nonsense to some riffs and get melodies, and sometimes the melodies turn into words, and that, you know, we work out that way.
Yeah.
I sometimes find if somebody plays a guitar riff, the first thing I sing is usually what I end up keeping.
Yeah.
Right.
And Andy, what has he meant to you as a producer?
He's done great for us, Andy. You can't really fault what Andy's done for us. He's done great. I mean, this album is more co-produced with me. It's because he was away, you know, doing Judas Priest. But I think he thinks this is the best album he's done ever. So, you know, especially of Saxon. So he got that working on it as well, the album. I mean, it's not just our input, it's his input as well.
Yeah.
So he's done a great job.
Definitely.
And he did it very quickly. You know, he was
Yeah.
complaining.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't got time to do this. Well, you have to have time to do it, Andy. You know.
But what are you arguing about? You spoke briefly before about using one type of microphone. Did you have any other arguing point in the
No,
studio?
they're not really argues. It's a big friend, Andy. You know, he's a big mate of mine. We've known him for a long time, since the back days.
Yeah.
But yeah, he works well. He loves 80s metal music.
Yeah, he did.
You know, his favorite bands are Saxon, except Judas Priest.
Mm.
You know, he loves that period, and he's a great guitarist as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, he works well with the guitar boys. You know, it's, you can't fake it with Andy.
No.
You know, you have to play really well when he's working with you.
Yeah. And of course, you have been on so many different tours during the years, and you have a lot of dates upcoming next year after the release, but no Swedish date yet.
No, they didn't put any Swedish dates in. You know, we'd like to do some Swedish dates. I mean, we're thinking about maybe coming back in November,
Yeah.
September, November, December, to do some more European shows that we haven't done with Judas Priest. And Sweden,
Yeah.
you know, would be one of them. I mean, Denmark as well. And I think we're playing a festival in Norway. Tons of rock,
Yeah,
which has been announced
Saw
with
that.
Metallica. So we'll probably do Finland. That's a great area for us as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely come to Scandinavia. If not November, it will be, you know, January, February the year after. But we'd like to get it all in next year if we could.
Yeah.
That would be that's the goal. But obviously things, you know, all the bands are touring, availabilities. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, I can imagine. And one last question: as the original member of Saxon, how have you steered the wheels of steel during the years?
Sorry?
How have you steered the wheels of steel during the years? The band, I mean, the wheels of steel.
The wheels I don't understand.
I mean, how have you managed to keep up the good work all these years?
With the work,
Yeah,
I'm highly motivated, and I love writing. You know, I love creating music.
Yeah.
Actually, I like creating anything really. I was a carpenter. I like working with wood as well. So I'm always doing something.
Yeah.
You know, at the moment I'm doing a boat with my son. He's going to live on a boat next year. So we're like fitting the boat out with kitchens and toilets and bathrooms and tables.
Wow.
So I quite like it, you know.
Yeah.
It's good to be creative.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I do. What do you do?
Well,
He writes riffs.
yeah. Music. It's going to be music. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
do you have any ideas of adding running? Because you said you're swimming and
I'm
cycling.
not a runner. Doug's a runner.
Yeah, Doug's the runner of the band.
Yeah, he's the
Okay.
runner.
Yeah, he
And
runs
Nibs,
5
Nibs.
miles every day.
He's amazing. And
Yeah.
Nibs keeps himself so
Yeah,
fit.
yeah.
In order to do what Nibs does on stage every night, he has to put in a lot of, training.
Yeah.
But I cycle and I walk the dogs and I try and keep fit swimming. But I should do more. But I'm better than I used to be. So at least I've made some lifestyle changes.
Yeah, that's cool. Any last message before ending this conversation?
Well, hopefully we'll see some people. Some people will come down to Germany to see their Jewish priest shows, Belgium maybe, something like that. But otherwise, we'll see everybody later next year. And don't forget the new album comes out January the 19th.
Yes.
Be there
Be there, be
or
square.
be square.
Good luck with everything, and thanks for having Christ on the Underworld.
No, that's no problem. Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you.
Nice to talk to you.
Thank you.